see some progression of some young developmental players. You know, we have a DeQuan Hampton out here, we have a Deontay Burnett, a Chinna out here, and it's really neat to start to see them really blossom as players. We also have our redshirt guys out here, like a Cole Smith, like a Clayton Johnson, a Roy Hemsley, and it's really neat to see their development over the last three weeks, and it's really paying dividends in games. It was neat to see Chinna in that last game making the plays he did, Deontay making the plays he did. So great day yesterday. Then we stepped in today, had a really physical, I thought, run period, which is going to be a huge part of this game. We're facing Arizona, who I think is one of the premier run/RPO teams, run pass option teams. They do a great job of running for about 265 a game, and then being able to pull the ball and get the ball out in space or quick game throws. They do it as good as anybody in the country. So we got a lot of work on that today. I thought it was really good. Guys came out here with tremendous energy. It's another championship game for us, and hopefully getting a couple of guys back and healthy. You saw Darius back out here, Steven back out here doing a little bit more, which was great, and hopefully that'll carry over till Saturday. So with that, any questions that you have, I'll answer.
Coach, are you starting to see this team reach that efficiency at this point of the year that you were hoping for at the beginning?
Well, I think anytime as a coach you want to see your team progress and get better week in and week out, especially when you hit November. You know, they kind of remember what you do in November, like we say. And I see this team really progressing, especially over the last 2 weeks. And our job is to keep that consistency and keep that going.
Is there any update on Juju?
Juju was out here. It was good to see his smiled face. Did my heart good. I know that. Surgery went extremely well. He showed me pictures of it while he was doing the surgery, which almost made me gag. But it looked like it went extremely well. You know, that process can take anywhere from 3 days to longer. Everybody heals different. Obviously, this is one of the elite players in America. You know, we're going to take care of him as a person first and make sure he's healthy and ready to go. And when he is, he'll be back out there. He wants to be back out there as soon as possible.
What exactly did they do, and what bone was it?
I wish I was a doctor, but it's a bone in his hand, not his finger. A bone in his hand. I believe it's right below the ring finger, where they went ahead and put a very small plate and a screw in to secure the bone and stabilize it to be able to promote health-wise even quicker, get him healthy even quicker. And because of that stabilization, he's allowed to play faster also because it won't re-break. It's really a pain tolerance thing. Obviously, if you're an offensive lineman, defensive lineman, you club that thing up and you're going. But, being a receiver, it's a different aspect. You have to catch with that hand. So, we'll see where it's at. Like I said, we're going to take care of our players first and make sure that he's healthy first before we put him back out there. When he's ready, I know he's going to be out there.
He was catching with that hand Saturday, right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. He went back out there for a series and really wanted to go in, played a series, and at that point in time you could see the pain on his face, and we just said, hey, this isn't worth it. Let's go and see exactly what we need to do to fix it. But you're talking about one of the toughest kids in my 21 years of experience I've ever been around. He's an absolute warrior, and I know he'll get back as soon as he can.
What is the potential back into that range in a couple weeks?
I wish I knew. Like I said, everybody heals different. If we don't have him this week, the prognosis is hopefully next week. That's what they're really hoping for.
Cody has always had like a clear go-to guy. I mean, he had Nelson before and Juju this year. What is the adjustment for him as a quarterback?
I think to really trust his guys, really trust what they do and their ability to get open. We're seeing tremendous strides in some young players. Deontay Burnett and DeQuan Hampton are playing really good football right now. Even though DeQuan didn't have the actual numbers, when we go back and watch the tape, the number of times he was getting open just as much as the other guys, just as much as Juju was. So, his development has really grown, and now it's time to go trust him, and go get the ball to him. We design some plays that go to targets. We're trying to beat a coverage, and then some plays are designed as a multi-progression, and you work through that progression, and the open guy is the guy you throw it to. So his trust in his wideouts will be critical this week.
What do you remember about your visit with recoveries at Clemson way back on?
I tell you what, I've always been a huge fan of Coach Rodriguez and a guy that I truly respect. He's always done such a great job taking his personnel and adapting it to what he needs offensively. I remember a long time ago, he was one of the premier pass guys in the world. I mean, you went to him to try to figure out the passing game, and now you look at him and he's rushing for 265 yards a game. I just think he's done a tremendous job. Whatever personnel he has to be able to adapt his offense, I think that's a great sign of a great head coach and a great offensive mind to be able to do that.
Specifically with that visit, what do you remember that interaction being like?
I always thought he was ultra brilliant. Just a great offensive mind, and he always was very open and friendly to myself and the rest of our staff. He was always an open book. He's one of the great football guys that are out there. That's why he's been in it for so long.
And have you guys stayed in touch since then?
No, just so you know, running each other and recruiting has always been very respectable, very respectful. I hold him up here. He's one of the better coaches in college football today.
Coach.
Yes.
So trust has been a common theme throughout the time since you've taken over. The players love you. Like Darius is playing for you right now. Cody's been bringing endorsements. How does that make you feel?
It's very humbling. It shows you, probably the biggest thing I've learned from this entire experience, not only this experience, but the one prior, is how important relationships are in this business, and being those relationships as a coach-player relationships are invaluable. I want them to know that I have the utmost trust in them, and I know I have their trust. And when you have that, then you're going to be a very cohesive football team. And I'm very glad of the relationships that we've built, and look forward to continuing it.
You mentioned Monday practices. Have you restructured those, or is that what's
no, that's something that we started right prior to Notre Dame. One of the things that I've always felt like that gets lost sometimes is the guys that maybe are redshirting, or the guys that you look up and aren't getting as many reps. Well, on Mondays is a legal day to be able to practice. We usually have to use that for our vets to be able to lift and get over the bumps and bruises and watch the tape. And we've taken upon ourselves, so we want to really develop not only our older kids, but it's our job to develop every kid on the football team. And you look up, and if you can take those Mondays and you have 13, 14 weeks of the year, that's an extra spring practice, and it's really the focal attention is on them, which is really neat. They're getting the reps, they're getting coached, and they've loved it. Over the last 3 weeks, when we can see it as coaches, the progression that those kids are making. It's just 45 minutes of good work focused on them, to let some attention be on them and get them better as players.
It didn't seem like Jonathan Lockett did much today. Did he get banged up? And also Claude was out here for the first time.
Yeah, Claude's getting better. I think he's getting closer. Jordan Simmons came out. He did a few little things together today. So they're getting closer. Lockett has a little bit of a groin. We think he'll be back later in the week, but was a little bit sore today, so we held off.
One more.
How much has it helped the blocking on the outside, for example, on Trey's third down run to have Darius seal the edge there?
We showed it in the team meeting. I think these guys are really playing for each other. They're doing the little things as a unit. Now, it's not an individual deal anymore. It's really a unit that's playing. And you look at his block on that, that run gets stuffed in the middle. Trey bounces it outside. He actually took 2 defenders. He took that corner back into the safety and allowed Trey to get 14 yards and enough room to cut that ball back in, which was huge, and not get pushed out of bounds to keep that clock running. That's why we were able to down the ball with 2 minutes and 6 seconds left on the clock. That run, that one play, was the end of the game. All right, guys, thank y'all very much.